Good morning. This is the Narcotics Anonymous just for today, for November 7th, and it is called Feeling God's Will. I sincerely believe that a higher power could restore my sanity and that I would stop trying to figure out what God's will was, just accept things for what they were, and be grateful. The longer we stay clean, the less surely we know what our higher power's will for us is, and the less it matters. Knowledge of our higher power's will becomes less a knowing thing and more of a fulfilling thing. We still practice the 11th step faithfully, but rather than look for signs from our higher power, we begin to rely on our own intuition, trusting in our feelings about what will make us comfortable. After staying clean a few years, what we do seem to know is when we are acting against God's will for us. When we are going against God's will, we get that old uncomfortable feeling in our gut. That queasiness is a warning that if we continue in this direction, ahead lie many sleepless nights. We need to pay attention to such feelings, for they are often signals that we are acting contrary to our higher power's will for us. Our 11th step clearly states the true goal of prayer and meditation, improvement of our conscious contact with the God of our understanding, bringing us clear knowledge of our higher power's will for us and the power to carry that out. We know God's will most clearly by how it feels, not by signs or words, and it feels right. Just for today, I will pray for the knowledge of my higher power's will for me and the power to carry that out. I will pay attention to my feelings and act when they feel right. There's a big saying in recovery, facts not feelings. Now, just because that's true, sometimes we should base our feelings on facts, not our facts on feelings, because that's usually wrong. People who go on emotion are emotionally unstable, because that's what we did in our addiction. That's what I did in my addiction. I was an emotion-driven creature, and drugs gave me a bad emotion, a bad feeling, but it gave me the feeling I wanted and sought for at the time. So why this big change from starting out and people saying don't trust your feelings? Because I'm walking into the rooms when I first start, or to rehab to start my journey again, or for the first time, I'm starting out with a screwed up sense of what reality is, and I've got a screwed up sense of what is wrong with me and what is right with me. All I know when I walk in that room is that my life has become unmanageable and I can't do this anymore. And I need something bigger than me to take away that. And when they're talking about moving away from, the whole higher power, do this, take away this, and it becomes ingrained in us what's right and what's wrong. And as we work the steps, we know where we falter, and we know our strong points, and we know our weak points. So the further you get along, you know when you're off. You know when things are off. And then through the steps and learning more and applying the principles and applying our program, I know for me, I know what's right and I know what's wrong. I know my weak points. I know my selfish points. So why would I go along with them? I'm gonna get the same results as I did before. It no longer becomes about using isn't our biggest fight. That selfish behavior and that selfish notion is our biggest enemy. See, because we've been able to stay clean long enough and do what it takes to stay away long enough that now It's the behavior that'll get us into trouble. It's not, I'm going to go straight back to using. It's, oh, if I do this, then I'm going to be able to justify using. And it might take months, it might take years. But if I continue in the behavior, I am going to go straight back. Because eventually, it'll roll downhill. That's what addiction is. It's shit rolling downhill. You can start with a lie. And if I get away with that lie, I'm going to feel like I'm rewarded for doing something wrong. So now my sneaky behavior is coming back. It could be anything. So that's when we know what's right and wrong. We know we're making a bad decision. And we have the patience and the knowledge to evaluate our feelings when you get far enough along to say, this is right and this is wrong. Duh, I already know that. Then don't do it. We have the power. We gain that power back to make a decision. We have a choice. Once we get further away from the drugs and the using, we have the power to say no to our own behavior, which a lot of it is the source of why we used in the first place. Well, there's a roundabout look at it all. I love you guys. Have a great day.